Welcome to the Snazzy and Sage podcast. I'm Dr. Carrie, your host and coach. Each week, I chat with remarkable guests who are thriving in their next chapter with confidence, purpose, and style. Because the next chapter isn't about age, it's all about attitude. Let's dive in. I'm especially excited about today's guest because I've had the absolute joy of sharing the stage with him. And believe me, there's no one like Mike Rivera. He's sharp-witted stand-up comedian, a passionate educator, and the proud winner of America's Most Hilarious Teachers on The View. You may have seen him on HBO, SHOWTIME, or laughing it up on the Bored Teachers Comedy Tour as he entertains audiences across the country. Please join me in welcoming the one and only Mike Rivera. Mike, how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for that very nice introduction. I really appreciate that so much.
Well, I'm so excited for the audience to hear your journey. And you've made my stomach hurt many, many times. Can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Let's see. Started out went to college in California. And then they had a comedy club a mile away from there. So that's how I got dabbled into the comedy scene there. And then I moved up to San Francisco and got to see some of the greats of all time. And that was a big influence on me from that. Then after a while, I said, well, mate, let's start doing shows. I started going around the country and spending 3 months in Florida, 3 months in the Midwest, 3 months in California. And sometimes in the islands when they had shows back then, a lot more than they do today. So around 5 or 6 years later, I ended up getting married. So then that's when I got into my other passion, history, education. I've been doing that now, going into my 27th year now.
Wow. What grade do you teach?
I teach middle school. Basically, I'm a hostage negotiator. That's my new line. It's been working well.
Wow, 27 years. That's amazing. How have you blended the classroom and comedy?
It's basically teaching that 50 minutes, teaching. Notice I just said right there, that 50-minute set. It's like it's like headlining within a day 6 hell gigs. So you got to really be on your toes, work with the relationships. Because I am ADD, well, guess what? Most of the kids today are ADD, especially with the generation with social media. So I have to chunk it, the phrase of every 10 minutes, change a topic, change something, because their minds just get bored after a while. And I always tell them, I go, I'm bored of this. When I do a curriculum that is boring, I specifically, thanks, guys, I will make it up to you. You know, you got to be honest with the kids. And they work well.
That's terrific. And I know that you've been participating in the Bored Teachers Comedy Tour. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Amazing. Bored Teachers is the #1 platform for education, social media in the country. I think they're up to either 7 or 8 million. And then around, I think, 2022, they started out with a tour, and I think it was Devin's idea, but he's not Mr. Bored Teachers, but it was his thing, his baby. And then they had like 4 or 5. And then when they needed someone, I was like the first off the bat for that original crew there. And it grew from going to comedy clubs to then little theaters. Last year, I got to close out at Ruth Eckerd, sold out 2,100 people.
That's amazing. Your humor is quick, clever, and deeply relatable. Where do you pull most of your material?
So when I won the America's Funniest Teacher like 9 or 10 years ago, I had 2 minutes on teaching. But because now comedy is so niche, it's the girl show, it's the guy show, it's the teacher show. Mm-hmm. So we did a show at the Port Richey Theater where I was the star, and it wasn't a Bored Teacher show. But guess what? I ended up doing 50 minutes on teaching alone. I get it from teaching, you get it from my animals, you get it from. I do on TikTok. I have a movie review thing with Can You Stay Awake, where I watch a movie with the animals, and if I fall asleep, it's good, and if not, and then I comment on it.
I've seen the movie clips that you've done with the animals that I think is just genius. How many pets do you have? I know you're an animal lover.
I got 5 right now here, so 4 cats and 1 dog now. Bart and Loki, aka my soulmates. They both had little health issues. Their owner, husband and wife, one passed away, and the other was going to a nursing home. I'll take them and try to foster. No, I love these guys. There's something about a foster animal, or when you rescue an animal, they know, and they will always appreciate you. These guys literally are they are gifts. I love them so much. And I talk to them. I never used to, they're more like, my cats are more like cat dogs. I mean, Bart is just the And people say that he was always stay with the dogs and stuff. And the sad thing is when you lose them, you know, and then that just, ugh. I think I've shed more tears over animals than humans because of that unconditional love, because of that special bond. It's so tranquil. They lower your blood pressure. It's tough to be depressed when as I'm rubbing one around when you have these incredible beings with you, you know?
They are absolutely amazing. I used to have two cats. Unfortunately, I have one, and I also have a dog. And I just heard
Mm,
this quote the other day that dog is actually God spelled backwards.
it is.
So you could be having the worst day, but if you shift your focus and spend time with them, pet them, play with them,
Oh yeah.
it's an
And
unconditional
that's why, and that's their job. You're right.
love. Hmm.
Like you said that because they want that interaction with you. It brings more, it brings the joy in the
And it's
household. And I think people need to go a rescue place. Don't spend billions of dollars and stuff like that. Rescue, you know, get one. They love you.
well, and speaking of joy, you shared stages with legends from Ellen to Larry the Cable Guy. What is one moment or maybe a couple of moments that stand out in your comedy career?
Well, closing at Ruth Eckerd Hall. I have a picture where at the end there's like the four of us, and then you see the whole background. When I enlarge it, I can see my daughter in the audience. It's one thing to do TV, but when you have your home theater, that is just wow. As far as working with people, you know, I started out in San Francisco, and I always talk about this. You know, to follow Robin Williams on stage when I was a kid, follow him. He would walk into a little club, the Holy City Zoo, and that could fit maybe 60 at most. And he would do an hour, and and I'm literally watching him 8 feet away,
Wow.
and you're seeing him. And I love that style. You know, I remember when I was in an improv group, some guy said, "You can't be funny every 10 seconds." And I said to him, I go, "You can't be funny every 10 seconds. I will be funny in 10 seconds because I have an anxiety. And if they're not laughing, I always thought they hated me. So that's why you know, that's why you write fast. But yeah, following him was amazing. And I had the worst death of all time. And with my friends, I go, "Hey, could you do some time after him?" And they brought me right up. And it was, but hey, how many people can say that though?
Very
You
much
know,
so.
one of the true giants of comedy who could work an audience like nobody, you know, and the best thing people always said about Robin is, so if someone throws something at you in the audience, you might have one word, okay? But they said, and well, Robin will have six.
Wow.
And that was his genius there. And here's another thing that people never on stage, do you ever, you know, he could get frustrated, but was he ever mean on stage? Was he ever, you know, no, he wasn't. I can be a little, yeah,
Mhm.
but he was never that way. I mean, and I point that out to people. They go, "Oh my God, you're right." I go, "Yeah," and that's why you smile when you'd see him. It was amazing. I got
That's
to see
true.
him a bunch of times there, and um, I always. Can I tell you a quick story?
Sure, sure.
My favorite story, which was always when I was a kid, and again, open micing. I wasn't working yet, but you know, you go to the zoo. Robin would hang out there, and this is in the late '80s, and Goldthwait was there, who was friends with. Dennis Miller showed up there, and you have to pretend that you're not impressed. That was a San Francisco comic. I mean, I'm sitting at the table there, and this is when Dennis Miller was doing the news, and no one. And I remember someone said, "Oh my God, it's Robin," and another comic elbowed him in the stomach, and they go, "We don't do that here." So we just like, yeah. So I'm on the bench, and you had to be invited back then on the Holy
Mm.
Cities when you worked the Holy City Zoo to sit on the bench. When you sit on the bench, that means you're accepted. So I'm on the bench, and Dennis comes over and he goes, you know, and I'm ignoring him. He goes, "Do you mind if I sit on the bench?" I go, "Whatever." And he sat on the bench and he told me about how they write the news on SNL, and that was great. So the thing is, I remember my sister was in town, and I said, "Hey, just meet me by the Holy City Zoo." And so then I see a car come up. It's 12 o'clock, and the thing is, I had met Robin a bunch of times by then because you always pop up, and they know who you are. But you know, and so then I remember my sister shows up with her husband, and then I see her eyes are like this, and then I go to Robin. I go, "It's my sister from Florida. Do you mind?" He goes, "Nah." He starts, "Hi, how's it going?" Dennis, do you mind?" He goes, "No, I'm skull waiting." And she's just like that. And then I remember it was like around 7 o'clock in the morning, I got a call from my mother. And my sister had called her up and goes, Ma, you'll never believe who Michael hangs out with. So that was,
That's fantastic. You've had such an amazing career. As you evolve in life, how do you view aging?
so I've been writing a lot over the summer. And I must have, and so people said, you must have done like around 25 new lines and probably 21 hit. Once you know the lines are working, here's the point. Some might be doing open mics for 3, 4, 5 years, but when I do new material, I have to get it ready, not in 4 or 5 years, maybe like in 4 or 5 weeks to start adding it into my show. Ageism, though, definitely affects certain clubs. There's some comics on the floor. I won't mention their names out because I respect them so much. They can't get work, and I'm going, these guys are hysterical. But once you hit that past 50, 55 area, a lot of clubs like, and I'm going, but for me, I don't think I've ever been funnier. And I get more compliments now than ever, because they said, wow, especially when, and the thing is, go to these mics, learn how to bomb, not bomb, learn how to deal with a bar crowd where no one's paying attention. That
Hmm.
adds such another layer to your skin where it makes it so that when you do have the audiences, it makes it so much better. So that's one thing. And so, hopefully, do more teacher shows. That's always good. But we did, with doing the white collar comedy now, and knock on wood, bomb, that an agency looks like they're going to take us. Well, we're on their website, so with me, doctor, teacher, lawyer, and what sells nowadays. It's branding, as you know. Of course, you know that. And when they see white collar, and we got the trademarks and stuff, when they see doctor, teacher, lawyer, the audience, by just seeing the poster, goes, oh, that's a show I want to see. We are not household names, but guess what? When they see the poster with the doctor, teacher, lawyer, they go, that's the type of humor I want to see.
That's terrific and great
Yeah.
branding. Everyone can identify, and all three of those occupation. There's got to be tremendous comedy from mining from that. And
So,
if someone wants to go see that show, it's called the White Collar Comedy Tour.
yeah, that's going to be in 2026, white collar comedy.
That's
And
terrific.
we are on, yeah.
Since this is Snazzy and Sage, we like to talk about snazzy style and sage advice. So I wanted to just ask you a couple style questions. How do you view style or fashion? Do you have a go-to style piece?
Black. Sometimes I got the collar shirt. Sometimes I got the Henley. I have 15 black shirts.
And black is such an iconic color because it's timeless. It looks great. It's elegant, but casual at the same time. And I think for both men and women, it's such a solid choice. What makes you excited? How do you find joy?
It's the writing. It's coming up with that new bit. Make yourself relevant. And you know this. Comics know. But for me, writing is everything that gets you respect. Your writing.
Your writing is so intelligent, so quick, and the way it blends. I like to refer to your comedy as staccato because it hits you boom, 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 and you stay energetic and you're ready for the next one. And I know for me, I come home and then I tell my family and friends, I gotta tell you a joke. Have you heard this? And it's relatable and it percolates. Like I still remember some jokes that you did when we performed a couple years ago.
It's great, but you can always grow. And by the way, I go back to the books. I'll go back to the Judy Carters. I'll go back. I think Greg Dean. I go back to Jerry Corley. I will look at them to get inspiration because you need to. That's and I give gifts to the younger comics, which we always like to mentor. Here's books on comedy. Learn this stuff. Read it. Text mark it. That's the teacher me.
Yeah,
That's
I took some classes with Jerry Corley, and he's amazing. And it because I'm an academic first and foremost, so I needed to understand the structure of comedy, and for me that was so helpful. There's a lot of comics that can just do their jokes extemporaneously, but looking at the structure and understanding the different styles really can help you elevate your comedy, or at least did for me.
I think key thing is always say, when you get a topic, write the questions. There's different layers. Well, what did your doctor think? What did you think? What did an inanimate object think? Why did they do this? What could you do? What happened before? What happened afterwards? And that's one thing because I used to always just do a topic and leave. Well, now let's do one topic and just keep going with it because you're peeling an onion. Don't just take the first, keep going.
Mike, what's next for you?
When it comes to comedy, hopefully the white collar, keep going, more material. That is a personal growth for me. Staying healthy because these things just creep up on us.
I joke that I'm looking for a menopause coach, or I want a mentor as I'm growing
Yeah.
older. I lost my hearing a couple years ago in 1 year, but no one told me. Like, I knew that's coming, but I thought it was later. And, and all these things are happening. I'm like, no one tells you. So I think there's that book for when you're having a baby, what to expect when you're expecting. I think there needs to be a book, what to expect when you're aging.
Oh, definitely. That's a great premise. And so write it up and perform it. And that's one thing I've been doing, when we do the 55 and older communities, which are just all over here now, that helps out, getting that material that relates with them. And I try to do teaching material, personal material, and the getting older material there. Keep writing. Over the summer, I can do it a lot, but when school's here, not as much. So let's, try to go through this creative renaissance. And then I go to my creative hibernation with school.
Mike, it's been a pleasure having you. I'm so excited to share your story with the world. Be well.
Well, thank you.
If you would like to follow Mike on social media or catch one of his upcoming comedy shows, you can follow him on Instagram and TikTok at Mr.Rivera Comedy. Thank you for tuning in to Snazzy and Sage. If you loved today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Want to elevate your style and confidence? Visit snazzyandSage.com to explore individual and group coaching that helps you look and feel your best from the inside out. Until next time, stay snazzy.